All right, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to another day of learning. Today we would still continue with what we have been doing so far, and that has to do with trying to create APIs for the tax management application we are trying to build. So in our last class, what we did was we were able to create the different entity, the tables, the database tables for the entities we are working on. Hope we can see at my screen the Visual Studio. Can we see the Visual Studio? Can you see my Visual Studio? And
Can you
their
hear me?
gifts.
Yes, sir.
You can see my Visual Studio.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Can you zoom in?
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. All right. So last week on Tuesday, we did cover the projects and the to-do tasks, and we created the database entities for each of them, right? So what we'll be doing today is we would create the basic CRUD operations for the user. We'll do same for the project and the to-do tasks. All right. Hope I can be heard.
Yes.
Okay. Bum. All right. So we'll start with the create. We have the create operation, the fetch by ID, fetch all, update, and delete. So unlike before, how we did the first time when I talked about APIs, when we were not using database, what we were using was in-memory database, and that's where they list the arrays and all comes in. But now that we have a database, first of all, we'll be using our database to store data. And what kind of data? We'll be using our database to store the user data. When a user is created, it gets stored in the database. So before we do that, we need to create a field, a private field for that. Okay. And that's what we want to do now. Like I said in the last class, we'll be doing everything inside our controller. Everything, both the user, the project, like authentication, everything will be done in the controller. And if there is time, if we finish on time, then we go into refactoring. Oh, I leave that as your tax. All right. So private read only. We call the name of the class the database context since we want to use it to store data, which is the tax management DB context. If you are not clear, you just draw my attention to where you are confused. Okay. Then whenever we create a field, okay, Ede Gift, go ahead.
All right, sir. My question is based on this private read only.
Hmm.
Um, I just want to understand what we are trying to do there.
Okay. So we want to work with the database, right? We want to work with the database and not a list. So database is what we want to work with. And since we want to work with the database, this is the database context we created 2 class ago, right? And because we want to be storing things in the database, whenever we want to store a data in the database, this is what we call task management DB context, and that's where I want to initialize it in the controller class. I'll also do this in the project controller because I want to store data in the database. And like I said, one way to get access to the database is via your DB context. And this is what I'm trying to declare here. Do you get?
All right, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So private read-only. Private means it's for this class. Read-only means you can only get, but you can't set. So whenever you are declaring a database context where you'll be storing data, we do it this way: private read-only task management DB context. And every private field, for every private field, right, we declare the name using underscore context. You can give it any name you feel like, but if you're having any private field, you give it the name underscore, then the name of the field, not the normal name, not the normal context you'd want to give. It's a convention anyway. Yeah. And there's a reason for it, which if I tell you now, you might not still get it, but when we reach that stage, I would bring your attention to why we are using this underscore. Okay. Can I be heard?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks. So we have this, we have declared the field, and after declaring the field, we need to create a constructor that whenever this is being called, it would assign the field to the constructor. Public user controller. Then we need to call, I hope we have not forgotten this DB context, where this is equal to, where this is equal to this. Hope we still remember this, right?
Yes.
Right. So we declare the DB context, then we create the constructor that whenever this program is running, it will first of all call the user controller, then call the initialize the constructor, assigning the database context to be equal to what is here. This that I'm doing here, right? This that I'm doing here is actually this service. I actually added the service. So whenever you run this, it is going to automatically assign the location of the database to be equal to this one here. It will assign that to this context here, where any data, any operation we perform will persist to the database. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, great. So now we have done that. Next thing is to work with the create operation, right? It's very straightforward. So
What do you say?
uh, please mute your mic. Okay. So for every create operation, we make use of HTTP post. HTTP post. I hope you remember that. HTTP post. Then we declare a method tags. This is for handling asynchronous process. So whenever we are working with the database, right? There's what we call synchronous and asynchronous process. So synchronous process has to do with an operation that is run or executed without waiting for any other this thing to run, right? So take for example now, you are going to you want to bake a cake, right? So what are the steps in baking a cake? First of all, you go to the market, you buy the ingredients, you come back, you boil the water. Let's assume you boil the water where you are going to put your things inside, right? So when boiling the water, you have to wait for when the water is done before you carry out any other stuff. So that's waiting period is what we call asynchronous process, whereby you wait till a particular task is done before you continue the next stage. But there are some operations whereby you don't need to wait, that doesn't require you waiting. It just happens um quick, it just happens very fast, right? So that is a synchronous process. Why asynchronous process means you have to wait for a task to complete before you continue the next step. So whenever we are working with the database, assuming you are let's use an example, Jumia. You want to add an item to your cart, right? You saw an item you like, or maybe a school bag you like, you clicked add, it gets added to the cart, right? That process of you clicking is actually, it's going to the database, and the database will help you save that stuff you clicked to the cart. So that process is actually waiting for when you add to the cart before you continue your next steps and all. Confusing, right? And the gifts, go ahead.
So I just want to ensure that I understood what you said here. Like you said, asynchronous is like you have to wait,
Yeah,
like it's taking things step by step. While synchronous is
it
moves from
happens
like
fast. Yeah,
happens
you
fast,
don't need
doesn't
to
wait
wait.
for the next one to call.
Yes, it's just
Uh,
like your let's say you remember when in our console application, right? You are kind of okay, let me do this first. I'm going to do something now. Sorry. Mm, where is my sticky note? Okay, there's my sticky note. I'm coming. Mm, hold on, guys. Let me bring it here. All right, can you see my sticky note?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay, I'm coming. All right, how about now?
Not yet.
Is it, have you seen it now?
Yes.
Okay, so asynchronous has to do with you have your console dot write line, right? That is more like hello um wall. Sorry,
So
copy.
I was just in the demo. Are you
Eh?
writing anything?
Yes, can you see my sticky note?
No, we are just seeing the demo for
Okay,
CRUD, like, yes,
how about now?
not yet. Okay, yes, now.
Mhm. So I have this is an example. Let's assume I have this. This is my console. So synchronous has to do with whenever you run your console, what happens is it prints all this as once. from top down. That's synchronous. It's not waiting for something to execute before you do the next stuff. Right? Are we good? Hello?
Yes. I was saying yes, I thought my mic was mute.
Okay, so that's for synchronous. But for asynchronous is this. You have your line of code, maybe these two. Sorry, you have your line of code. And in this one, maybe there is a method that will require, that is going to take like maybe 5 seconds to execute. It's going to take 5 seconds to execute before the next line of code, right?
Yes.
Great. So if you don't declare, if you don't declare um that operation as asynchronous, what happens is that when it comes here, it will execute this, it will run this, it will run this. It's not going to wait for this to execute. It will just leave this one and come and run this one. That is synchronous. Then whenever you make an operation asynchronous, you are saying, wait, if you come across an operation that is going to take time to load, wait for it. When it finishes loading, continue the next one. Do you get?
Yes.
It's now clearer now, right?
Yes, it's there.
Yeah, that's a very simple. It has other complex explanation, but that's the very basic explanation, right? Okay.
Okay, sir.
So for this now, whenever you are saving to, whenever you're communicating with the database, there's a reason why you need to make that operation asynchronous. Do you know why?
No, sir.
All right. Because number one is network, right?
Okay.
Network issue. Because maybe you are trying to add something, you are trying to create an account. And that process of, if you notice on website, whenever you're trying to create an account and you click enter, you see something that is like, that has a loader effect.
Yes.
That loader effect is actually telling the user to hold on. I am going to the database to store the information you gave me, right? That loader
Yes.
you see there is actually the wait time. And it's like it's an asynchronous process. So assuming you didn't put that operation as asynchronous, what happens is that you won't even see that loader. It's going to see that loader and still go on to the next step. Do you get? So
Yes.
whenever we are communicating with the database, we are trying to persist to the database or save to the database. Those operations should be asynchronous because one could be network issue. If you don't put it asynchronous, there's a possibility that you are trying to create an account. It will not save to the database because you didn't wait for that process to complete, right?
Yes.
Great. So same applies for you are trying to fetch an information from the database. So any database call should be asynchronous. So just take note of that. That's why for every operation I'll be using here, I'll be making use of asynchronous. And there's a keyword for it, which is async. That's what we use to
Yes.
say the method is asynchronous, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's proceed. Deligwe, you have been quiet. Are you good?
Yes.
All right, it's clear now.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, so
All
sir,
right.
that's why whenever you are loading something, maybe you're making a or you're sending message, it will be like syncing to send.
Yes, yes, yes. Yep.
Okay.
All right, fine. So same thing with the tax. Tax and async, they work hand in hand. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the tax now, we want to return um a response, right? Response that, like, when you get a request from the front end, the request is being processed at the back end, and we need to send that response back. So there's what helps us to send readable responses back, and one of them is the action result. You can always check the documentation for it. So it's more like a default implementation of action result. It just helps to send a readable response to your front end back, right?
Okay, sir.
Great. So action result, and I have to give it the name. This is a data type. It's the same way with how you declare your method, right? The public, the type, the return type. This is the return type. What do we have again? We're going to have what's the final step? After the return type, what do we have next?
So is it after this place you have now?
What will be the next after
Great.
return type? Hmm?
You great.
Okay, that's the method name.
Yes.
All right, create user. Then we pass in what are the inputs, what are the parameters you need to pass in to the front
And
end, so the front end can send their okay, Deligwe, go ahead.
So I thought I heard you say I action result or something like that.
No, this action result.
Is anything like I action result?
Yeah, that is the interface. That's interface for action result. It's inheriting from iAction result
so
interface.
where are
So
you? When did we meant to write that one? Wait, it's not I'm seeing it too.
Sorry?
I
what's the
thought is
difference?
what you wrote there is I action.
No, this action, like there's what we call interface, right? Interface, right? Which interface is more like it doesn't hold the implementation of a service, just holds the contract, right? I've not talked about interface. I was supposed to do that now, but I just wanted to finish up with the CRUD operation before I go into interface and all.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just to understand, like, what's the difference between using the interface and using the implementation?
All
So when you
right.
say implementation, I guess is a class that implements it now.
Yes. Why the interface can have just the definition where other classes would inherit that definition with their different implementation. Do you get?
Yes,
Hello?
I get. Just to know why it's being used interchangeably in this case.
Okay, why we
Uh,
use I action instead of action result? Or
yeah, or is it just preference or something?
all right, I think that is why. That's because I've not handled that interface. All right, don't worry, I will do that
Okay,
in our
all right,
next class. Yes, I'll do that in our
all
next
right.
class. Sorry about that. Okay. So create user, and what will be in the parameter? Hmm?
Is it the ID string?
Not really the
Request
ID.
body or something.
Yeah, we need
Int
the request body, not really the int. It could be the int, yeah, it can be the int, but there's something that represents all the data the user would.
model.
Exactly. So what would be the model?
Model dots. No, not model dots.
What's the model we are working with?
User.
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 Exactly. So user, then user.
Then
So by doing this, by doing this, you are saying all of, okay, I need to import this. We are saying, let's go to the user. All this will be at the
Yes.
front end, where the user would have to input what their email, password, confirm, first name, last name, and everything. That's the meaning of all this. That's the meaning of you saying pass in this. But if I'm passing in just string email, what this means is you are just sending this parameter to the front end. Or if I'm passing this, then int ID, then what again? String password. Then you're just passing this 3 to the front end. So instead of writing all of those parameters, why not just use one that has everything, right?
Yes.
Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Great. So we have done that. The next thing is this. What should be in the body? What will be in the body? All right. So I want to add the user, right? The user has imputed his first name, last name. Let me use this as reference. You can see my sticky note now.
Not yet. Yes.
Okay. So assuming the user has imputed this what name as gift, then gift, then email as gift at gmail.com. Then what? Let's just use these 3. Password as what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So assuming the user has imputed this in the front end, how do we save this argument in the backend? How are we going to save that? We just save that using, first of all, we call the field name, right? Which is context dot, after calling the field name, the next thing is to call the DB entity, right? If you check this now, let's go to the database context, tax management database context. We have the various tables, right? We have the users, the project, and to do tax. So whenever we are persisting to the database, first of all, we call the context. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
We call the context, then we call the table name, which will give us access to the various methods, right? So that's what we want to do next. We call the context, we call the table name, and since we are working with user, what am I going to call? The users, right?
Yes.
Dot. Now it has given us access to the methods that comes with EF core, which are what we see here. The add async, add range async, everything. We have access to all the methods. And since we want to persist or save to the database, what we are interested in is what? The add. Okay, are we good?
Yes, sir.
Great. But if we are deleting now, let's assume we want to delete a user. There is a method for delete, which is there's a method for delete. That should be removed. Yeah, that should be removed. So this method is for delete. If you check here now, it shows you the definition of what this does. This removes a data or an entity from the database. So remove does that. Or what if you want to um get from the database? What do you do? It's straightforward. It's find. Find helps us to get an information from the database. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So what about this find async? You see this the same thing?
because Trinity said software guys are not supported. They are not
Hi,
supported.
Sagideon.
You guys should be supported. Yes, sir. All right, sir. All right. Sorry. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. I was asking, what about the find async?
Yeah, I'm coming to that. Yeah, I'm coming to that. Okay.
Okay,
So
so the grade post, is it not supposed to also have get?
yeah, there's get, and that's define. Define is for the get.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing like get. We use find for any get.
No, I'm talking about like the HTTP post
Yeah,
and
there is add.
add async.
Yeah. So
Okay,
the difference between this now, we have the add and we have the add async. And because our method is asynchronous, we can't
yes.
use add.
Okay.
So that's the difference. Add is just if it's just is for a method that is not asynchronous. Why add async is for method that is what? Asynchronous. Okay. Which
Yes,
is
sir.
so which takes in what? It takes in what? The what you want to actually save to the DB. Okay, Abdul, go ahead.
Is what is between add zinc and sync? What is the
Sorry,
difference?
between
Add
what?
the method, like now we are using method add zinc tax action result. What's the way between using add zinc or zinc only, synchronize only? What is the difference between it?
I didn't get you. Come again.
Like now where you place that cursor, the public
Yes,
add zinc tax
this one.
action. Yes. What is the difference
Yeah,
between, because when you're,
async.
yes,
You came
when you're
late.
doing,
I can't go back. If it's that one, you came late. Yeah.
oh, it's not-
Yep. Sorry, you came late, so I can't go back because of time. So you just try and watch the beginning of the video, okay?
oh, it's not-
All right, thanks. So add async, and it's taking what? The entity you want to save. So I want to save what?
User.
The user. So I just need to pass it in here, straight up. Now, you've actually added it to the DB context, but you have not done what? You have not saved it to the database. There are two things. You add it to the
Okay.
DB context, but you have not actually saved it to the what? To the database. So next thing is I want to save it to the database. After I've added it to the DB context, I need to save it, persist it to the database. And how do I do that? I still call in my context dot save. So you see now we have save changes and save changes async. Which should I use?
Save change async
Why?
because it's saving the asynchronous
Okay, because the method is
is
asynchronous.
asynchronous, yes.
All right, that's fine. You notice now we are having these squiggly lines and all. That
Yes.
is telling you because this method now is asynchronous. It means because we are communicating with the database, we have to
I'll
await.
wait.
Yes, that's why we need to do that. We need to await um, that, and same thing here. We need to await this, or else there's a possibility that it's not going to save to the database. Okay, and it's
Yes.
definitely C# is also going to warn you to await that. Blue. Okay. Now we have done this. We have added this user. We have saved this to the database. Next thing is, how am I going to return? I want to return a response. I want to return a response to the front end or to my postman saying that this user has been added to the database, right?
Yes.
How do I do that? You can tell me. What do I return?
Is it return user details?
Hmm?
Thinking.
Okay. All right. So I want to
Return
return.
view.
Yeah. All right. So action results. I've done this. I have saved this. The next thing is I can return. There are different responses. Yeah. There's one we call OK. I can return OK response to the front end saying this user was added successfully. Okay. There are
Yes,
other
sir.
action results. Let's go into the class so we see the different action results that is being provided. Okay. Looking for where those methods are coming. Action result. Coming, guys. This thing is not taking me there. All right. Okay, this is not it. Looking for the okay. So I'll just show you. Go to implementation. Okay, action. I don't know why this thing is not taking me there. Sorry, my Visual Studio is acting up. That's why. Let's just continue. I wanted to show us the class that is having all those action results, the okay, they created that action and all. But let's just proceed. Let's test this out first to make sure this is working fine. So what I'm going to do now is I would run my Visual Studio.
Sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you have HTTP post. There is no
Yes.
HTTP get.
Which is this? I've not done that. I want to
I
run.
thought get conf before post.
It's your choice if you want to create first. If you want to
Okay,
implement or create first or post before get, that's your choice,
okay.
right? Yeah. So I've done the first one, which is this user, and this is what I have. There is what we call DTO, data transfer object, DTO. Have you heard of that before?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me about it. What do you understand by DTO?
DTL is um DTO is data transfer objects. We transfer the the data like the tables to the actions like the controller.
Hmm. Not really. Yeah, getting
Oh,
it
it's
small.
knocking.
Okay.
Delige wants to
Right.
speak.
Well done. Okay, Deligwe, go ahead.
So DTO is, as you say, data transfer object. And so how will I put it? Should I say design principle now? No? So we don't want our controller to be directly in touch with our database. So something like the entity is like tied to the database. So we need something in between that we will be able to, interact with data that is being sent to the front end and those that are being sent to the database. And moreover, like things like should I say, password. So the thing is, whatever you want to abstract or remove while sending data to the front end, you can just do that with the DTO. And that's why DTO is there.
Okay. All right, that's nice. So to summarize what he has said and what everyone has said is now I'm passing the whole properties of the user to the front end, right? So there are times when, assuming I don't want the front end to fill in, let's say, details for account type or user status, or maybe I don't want this to appear in the front end. Let me put it that way, account type and user status. I don't want this to appear in the front end,
So
right?
sorry, I didn't get you.
Okay, can you see this UI? Hey, you think you can't see this UI, right? Oh
Mm-mm.
God, sorry. I ran the code. The API took me. Let me bring that here. Sorry. Ah, no wonder. I'm coming. Okay. Okay. So this is it. Can you see this now? I ran the code and it took me to the
Yes.
post, the Swagger. Can you see this now? You can see this, right?
Yes.
Great. So we have just one endpoint, right? Why do we have this post endpoint?
Because this is the only one that we created.
All right, this is the only one we have created. Great, which is that HTTP post. Okay.
Yes.
And because we have this now, if we collapse this now, we are provided with all the properties for the user. That was because I used user model here, user object here, which allowed access to all the properties for this model. So how DTO comes in is there are times when I don't need to pass in what, assuming I don't want to pass in account type, user status, or maybe confirm password, right? I don't need to
Yes.
pass these three to the front end. So what do? I create a DTO that does what? That would remove those things that we don't need and put the properties we need. So what this DTO does is that the DTO would only put the relevant properties that the front end needs. Do you get that?
No.
All right. So I'm using user model for this. So there are times I don't want this user status, confirm password. I don't want those things to appear in the front end. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And because I'm using user model, everything is showing. Do you get now?
Okay. Yes.
But with DTO, what DTO does is that when you create a DTO, this is how DTO works. You create a DTO that would only show what should be there. So with DTO now, DTO will now show what is now going to show what is needed in the front end. This is what DTO does. It will only show this and remove what is not needed. Do you get it now?
Yes. So, but when we not those ones, when we not put the other ones, okay, that
Those
one will
ones
be in
are
the
still your
entity.
user. That one is still your user. You are using the DTO to send
Then
what
the
is needed
response.
to the front end for them to
Okay.
send their request, what is
Okay.
actually needed. I don't want the front end to know about all the properties that a user have, only the important and relevant ones.
Okay.
Okay, and that is where DTO comes in. And because we don't have DTO, that is why we have all
Okay, sir.
the properties here. So in a real scenario, in a real life scenario, it's always advised to create a DTO that does basically that. Okay, but in our
Yes.
class, we'll just use pure model for it all through. That will also be your research. Yep. Okay, let's continue. So we have the ID, we have the email, password hash, confirm password, first name. I don't know how this confirm password came in. Confirm password shouldn't be at the back end. It's for front end work, but let's just leave it there. We have the first name, last name, account type, 0, user status, 0, gender, 0. Why do we have 000 here? Who can tell me why?
Is a default response
Yeah, and it's also for what?
for string.x.
No. What's the data type for this account type? What's the name of what is the data type for this account type?
String,
No,
integer.
no. Enums now. We used
I
enums
know.
for account type. We use enums for user status. We use enum for gender, right? That
Yes.
is why by default it's taking 000. So if I'm filling this at the front end, you won't be seeing 000. It's because this is for backend developers. This is like your front end. But for front end, pure front end, you won't be seeing anything like 000. You'll be seeing the actual strings, which is what admin or maybe active, all those stuff. Do you get?
Yes.
Great. So the user wants to fill in the required information. Now I don't need to fill the ID. Why?
Because the
Why?
database which okay.
Exactly. Yeah. The database will generate it for us. So there's no need for the
Yes.
user to fill in the database. So next thing is the email, right? The
But
user,
do you remove the ID?
yeah, I removed it.
Okay.
If I leave it there and I create this, it's actually going to assign 0 to this ID, which
Okay.
shouldn't be so. The database should be the one to do that. So, right?
Yes.
All right. So the name, email at gift@gmail.com. I also put a breakpoint. It also helps you in understanding it better before you run any requests. For you to understand better, just put a breakpoint here. So for every request you run, it will not just run at once. It will just hit this breakpoint, and it allows you to play your button or pause, play. You know how breakpoint works, right?
Yes.
Great.
Well, anyway, let me leave it for
No, no,
now.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is the breakpoint like these three icon button for breakpoints? The one that curves, is it that one is how it's being used? The step in and step out and step over.
Yeah, I know. I explained it in that first time now, how to go about it. Or you have forgotten?
No skip my mind.
Okay, we'll still do it again. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right. So, all right. So this is it. gift@gmail.com. Password, let's say it's 11111. 11111. Okay. First name is gift. Last name Ede. Account type 0. 0 is for user. User status active. Gender. I think male is 0. So 1 should be female. Yeah. So if I click execute, it hits this now. Then it comes here. If you check now, you hover on this, you see what the data that you passed in.
Yes.
Now, right?
Yes.
The account type, the confirm password, the name, gender, female, this user status, and all, right?
Yes.
Great. So you come here, F10, key F10 to go to the next step into. So
Sorry,
this,
the arrow.
okay, I'm always used to my, okay, next statement. Is it next statement? Okay, step over. Yeah, step over. Yep, to the next line of code, which is this. Now I want to add the user. If I click step over, it gets added. It adds the user to the DB context, which is what we see here. We check the users now. You see it here. Add the count. Where do we see the count? Supposed to see the count where?
So you have passed the count.
Yeah, we have count 1. Yep. We just added the first user, and this way we have it. It has taken the count as 1, right?
Yes.
But the database have not saved it. That's why if you come here and check your database now, it's loading. Okay. Sorry, it's loading. My Visual Studio is still acting up. Okay. So if you come here now, tables. Sorry. Mm, 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 mm. Why my system is misbehaving. So I'm trying to load the tables, so just hold on. Okay, fine. So if you check the user table now, view data, you check the user table. This was the data I added before now. That's why we have 1, 2, right? But we don't
Yes.
have the header gifts. That's why we can't see it here. It's no. So it
So
was,
why did it
it's,
happen
hmm?
that way?
Why
Why?
did what happen?
The other gift did not add.
That is because of this. This has not been executed yet. I have to step over, then it gets executed. It's just on that line,
Okay.
but I have not executed it yet. So if I step over and I check again, where's our table? I check again and I refresh. This is what we see,
Okay.
right? It has given it
Yes.
the ID 1002, the name, gift, password, first name, last name, account type, user status, gender, and confirm password. Any confusion?
No, sir.
All right, great. So I just need to return OK. So I'll just continue, and this is what I would get. OK, OK means 200. So code
Yes.
200 means it was successful. That's why we have this, right? So, but now there's another trick to this. If you've heard of validations, have you heard of validations before?
Yes, I've heard of it, but I don't know how it
All
works.
right. So, okay, validation comes in when, or Abdul Deligwe, you have any idea of validations?
Yeah, so validation is a way to validate whatever is coming into your system, in this case now into our backend server. So for example, the password, you can write a validation that says it should not be less than 6, or it should have a symbol stuff in the password. So it
Okay.
comes from the front end and it will hit that validation. It can be a middleware or maybe any code you want to write just before it will go into the database. You just have to do that check on the
Okay.
data that is coming in here.
All right. Thanks. Also, it could also check for the email, like you said. So assuming someone is trying to impute this now without putting the art, let's just try that out first. Let's put validation. So how we do the validations is there are many ways to it, but as beginners, I would expose us to how we do that. At first, we come to the model, right? So assuming I want to add validation for email, or maybe when the user is sending in their data and they have not provided email, what should happen, right? Great. So this is how we do it, the square bracket. Then there's what we call required, which is a data annotation. This data annotation provides us with different validations, keywords or classes we use. So there's what we call required. So what are we required? By you putting this required, you are saying this email should be
Is
provided
required.
by the front end. Then you can also go ahead to give it a message by saying the error message. What error message should display? Could say email is required, right? So if you don't provide this, it's going to display this message. You can also give it like 3 or 4 or 5 validations. You can include another one that will check if there is no at, then it will say invalid email format. So let's just write that out. So email is what we call email address. It validates an email address. And if it's invalid, you provide a message for it, which is error message that says invalid email format. Invalid email format. So let's test that out.
So is that the
Yeah,
client side validation or server side validation?
this is server side validation.
Okay.
Yeah, front end does their own client
Okay,
side
the
validation.
client side is being done in the front end view.
Yes, so it's more like it's always advisable that you don't really depend on one side, even though you know the front end is going to create that validation. You as a backend developer,
Should also
you
have
should,
the
yeah,
validation.
don't trust
Okay.
anyone. Just try and do your own, protect your server just in case. case of anything, right?
Okay.
Okay, so we have this. Now we come to our controller and put if condition. We put an if condition here. Before it comes here, we need to check if what not if not model state is invalid, or let me do it this way. If model state dot is valid, if model state is valid, right? What should happen? Do this means the model state is valid, right?
Yes.
Hello? Great. If model state is valid, it's going to execute this guy. So I can put this inside this body. But since it's outside now, I can actually go ahead to say if model state is not valid. So how do I write that? If model state is not valid, what's the simpler way to write that?
That's where you wanted to write that. If not,
Okay. You saw me back. Okay. All right. So if it is not valid, what should happen? It's going to return a bad request. So bad request is another response for the front end. Then it's going to display the error, right? The model state of this. That should be in capital letter. Yeah, should be in capital letter. Model state of this. But if it is successful, then do this. So by you returning this, it's not going to execute this line. We are all aware of that.
okay.
Hmm?
Yes.
Okay, the gift.
Sir?
This is returned, will this execute?
No,
Why?
because it not put the right information.
No. Tell me about return. Return keyword. What does return do? What?
Return returns what you give to the
So when you come across return in your line of code, how about the other lines of code? Will it get executed?
it will jump and it will not execute.
It won't execute the rest now, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's because we use the return. But had it been I didn't return, I just use bad request, it's going to execute bad request and also execute down.
Oh,
Yeah, return cuts out what is left. It goes out of the function entirely to whoever it's calling it. That's the meaning of return. Okay.
yes, sir.
All right. So bad request, and if it's successful, we do this. Now we have edited the code. If I go to my front end and do this, it's not going to work. So what I do is, since I've edited this while this is running, I just have to restart. This is where you need to restart the whole flow again. So that's what I want to do now. If I don't finish up, you guys will do by ID or update and delete now. She, you're capable now. Hmm?
So you give us assignment too.
Now that one is easy now. Ah, that one is very easy. Very, very easy, like ABC. Okay.
So
Can
are
we
we
see
still
this?
having the class tomorrow and next tomorrow?
Yes, 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 we should. Yes.
Okay.
Can we see my UI, the Swagger?
No.
All right, I need to share this now. Okay. All right. Share this. How about now?
Not yet. Yes.
Okay, great. So I have this. I have this. It has given us an example. So assuming this wasn't there, this wasn't there. Let me remove this. I'll just leave it there and see if it will even show 0. So assuming there is no at, or let me just remove this first. Let me just remove that and I execute this. It's going to say 400 and it's going to tell us email is required, invalid
Invalid
email.
email.
And this is displaying those messages, the error message I provided in our model, if you remember, right?
Yes.
So assuming I provide an email, this is invalid now. Let's try that out. It's going to say invalid email format. So this is you validating or creating your own validations for your backend, for your server, just in
Yes.
case the front end doesn't do that. Except you are in full stack and you are controlling both end, then you trust yourself to do it one. That's as if you are the full stack, you are controlling both front end and back end, then you can choose one.
Hmm.
All
So
right.
there's something that is confusing me on this thing. So this place you are not like this white showing red. That one is
Mm.
it that okay, is bringing out the request, but like the sample of what is you need to see to execute.
Yes, yes, yes. You mean this red stuff?
Yes, those
No,
ones
this
like
this is
no,
this
this
is
particular page that is the application. No, we are going
okay.
before
You
the
mean the
execute.
wish? You mean this?
We have removed it though.
Okay, let me expand this. Okay,
Yes, this place where your mouse is now. I'm
yeah,
asking
this
like
white.
it's showing okay, what that place does is to show what is
This is
request.
yeah. This is the body. This part you see here. Look at it. This is the request body. This is the body where we provide what's the request that will be sent to the backend. This is actually your body for
Okay.
Swagger. This is your body. There are other different ways to send your request. There's the route, which I would show us when we progress, right? I'll show us the route and all. But
Okay.
this is the body, request body, where everything you are sending, all these requests here is what the backend
Yes.
receive. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm
So this
sending
one is
this.
response.
Yeah. So I'm sending this now to be saved to the backend. Now it didn't hit here because it's actually valid, right?
Yes.
Great. Then come here, it's saved to the DB. But there is an issue which I will show us later. What if another user still uses this email? I'll just leave us to go and try that out and see if or how to come about that. What if another user still uses this user at Gmail at example.com? What do you think will happen? It still adds it, knowing fully well that email is unique for a user, right?
So I don't understand it.
Okay. Is it possible for more than one user to have the same email?
No.
Great. So what did we just do? I created a
Eh,
user using the same email and my database still saved it. Is that right?
No.
So that's what I'm saying. I would leave that as a task. We'll still do it in our next class anyways. I will leave that as a task for you to go and try that out. You have to protect, you have to first of all, how it works is it comes here. This is actually checking the model state, making sure it's valid, right?
Yes.
Then the next if condition is to check the database. If the email that is coming here as a request is the same as the one in the database, what should happen? Return bad request saying what? This
Not
email
found.
already exists. Why not found?
Sorry, it's not exist. No, it's not.
Right? It's when you are actually looking for an information. Maybe you're looking for a data. That's when you use not found. Right?
Yes.
Great. But since the email you are trying to register a user with already exists in the database, that's actually a bad request, which a message saying not found, right?
Yes.
Great. So that's a task for you to go and try that out to come about how you're going to protect your database from having duplicate emails, which isn't cool. Okay.
Yes.
So what I would do here is, let me just put a to do. To do. Prevent duplicate emails, right? I'll just put a do. How you do it is, thank God I introduced GitHub. So you just need to pull this change, create your own branch, work on this feature. Okay,
Yes.
great. I'm just hearing only the gift. Abdul Salam Deligwe. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Abdul Salam, how far? All right, let's proceed. So we are done with the create. So let's move over to get. I want to get all the users in the DB. How do I go about that? How do I go about it? This return, okay. All right. This is fetch by ID. This is fetch all. So let's try the fetch all first. So what HTTP are we going to use? What API are we going to use for that? Is it HTTP post
Yes.
or
Get and post.
for fetch all users? We use get and post. Eh?
Get.
So I'm not suggesting get.
We use get now. We are trying to get an information. We use
Yes.
get. We are trying to persist or save a new information. We use post. Or we want to update. I know I said this in previous classes. If we want to edit or update an information, we use what? Hmm?
Post.
Put.
Put. We use HTTP put. Except you have not watched that video. Then if you want to remove an information or delete, we use the what? Yeah, the gift. Are you scared? We use HTTP delete. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's try the fetch all operation. So here's the interesting part. Whatever we do here is very, very similar to how we are going to apply in our what in our to-do tasks and project. So once I'm done with this, another part of your tasks will be to do same for your project and to-do tasks. Are we good? It's
Yes,
not
sir.
hard. Yeah. All right. So HTTP get. All right. Then give it the name of the method, which is public um public async, then tags. So yeah, it's going to be action results, which gives us that the okay, the response and all. And now let me finish this now. Tax action results get get all users and all. So we complete this. All right. So now I want to get all the users from the database, right? I want to get all users from the database. how am I going to do it? It's just pretty straightforward. Return context dot what? Context dot what? Hmm? Context dot what?
Okay, no, dot users.
Sorry?
Dot users.
All right. Context dot users dot what? Now I want to get all information from the database. So we usually use to list. But since this is an asynchronous process, what are we going to do? Choose the
To
word
list
to list
async.
async. Then close the bracket and let's see Y and C. Yeah, we close it and we have this, but does not contain definition for a no accessible extension method to list async accepting first argument of type DB could be found. Okay, so we need to import this. This to list async is coming from the
Microsoft
so we need
Word.
to import it here, and we
So do
have
we
this.
install the package?
Yeah, we have installed it since. That was the first thing we did.
Okay.
Look at it here. These are API.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
why did this error not show when we are doing add async?
Why didn't it show when we're doing add async?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's remove it first. Entity framework, right? So add async now is part of it's a change tracking dot entity. Okay, entity framework core dot change tracking. So it is part of this class, right? Entity framework dot change tracking. That's what this add async is. But the to list async is using the method from the direct entity framework core, right? So I guess that is why I needed to import this. So if I hover on this now, I would see where that function is, which is here. All right, so to list async, but we are still having the error. What is the error now? Cannot implicitly convert type what?
Is it await? We not add await.
All right, so we need to
Yes,
add
it's true.
await and we will
Await.
still have the error.
Error.
Yeah, await solves it once. But now, if you check now, this is how we do debugging, right? Cannot implicitly convert type what? This is of type what user. What we are doing here, if you check now, it is of type what? Tax list
Yeah,
user,
list.
right? Tax list user. So if you check the error now, cannot convert this tax list user to what? Action result. What we are having here is just an action result, right? So to make this have the same type with this now, this the type, right? This action result should also return what? A list. I hope this will not confuse somebody. This action
Confuse
result.
somebody. Oh.
That's why I talked about generic in our first class, right? So whenever we have
Yes.
errors like this, it's always good to read
I
the
wanted to
code.
mention that generic because I've seen it in
Yeah,
this.
yeah, I spoke about it in our maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, when I talked about generics, when we are trying to prevent having duplicate classes that are doing something very similar. So why not create a generic class that does those similar stuff? And what will be changing is actually the type. Do you get? So this tax is a generic. This tax is a generic. If you go into the tax now, see now the tax is a generic taking T result of tax. So this tax is actually a generic. Yeah. So the error we are having is that what we have here is of type what? Let me come to my how many are we in this class? We are 3. What happened to the rest? What we have here, right, is of what? This type is what? There's no way to copy it. Is of type what? List. See the list here. Can you see this?
Yes.
Generic dot list. List of type what? User. Let me copy that out here. So that list of what? Type user. That is for this line, line 45, right?
Yes.
Great. But now the error is that this data type here is different from this data type here. This one is returning that list of user, while this other one here to MVC.action results, why this one here is just having what? Action results. Let me go here. Why the first one, line 43, is just having action results 43. So this is different and this is different. To make it the same, right? They have to be the same. How we do it is this should return this type. And how do we do that? We go ahead to say, let it return list of, just simply put this one here. That's what it means. Put this one here. Finish. Yep. And that solves it. That's what I was trying to do there. Do you get? Hello?
Hi.
All right, let's use an example. So if the method name now, let's assuming the method name now, method name having a return type of what? Let's use string. Let's use a popular string. Sorry, let's use a popular string data type, right? And what the implementation is returning what? The implementation is returning is what? An int. What should happen? I should try as much, since the implementation is the important, like it's more important, I should make sure the method name tallies with what? The implementation return value. That's the whole essence, right?
Yes.
And by so doing, it means I have to change this word to int,
Int.
right?
Yes.
Then another example. What if I had list? Yeah, list is a generic. So list of int, right? This is the method name. Method name. This is the method name, the return type for the method name, right? And the
Yes.
implementation is returning what? List of what? String. What do I need to do? I have
You
to
change the
method name to what?
string.
String, right? But
Yes.
what if, let's take it further. What if the implementation is also returning another? It is possible to have a generic of a generic of a generic. It's possible. Yes, it's very possible. Yep. So if we have a list of a string of an int, right? Of an int, list of a string of an int, right?
Yes.
Great. And my method name is returning a string. what do I need to do? It has to tally, right? Can you hear me?
So you say it has what?
It has to tally. Like the return type has to tally, meaning this string has to return what? Also
Int.
return a generic of integer. This is the very basic, simple explanation for it to work, right? So the error we are having here is this line 45, right, which is the implementation, is having what? The return value of what? List of user, right?
Yes.
But action results is this now, is returning just this. Okay,
Yes.
so to make this rhyme with this, our action result should return what? Should return this. Do you get that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So to do that here now is just pretty straightforward. Okay, so bring it here, and that solves that. So if you check it, it's saying syntax error dash expected. I thought we had how many this thing do we have? Um what should I do here?
If menu, we are having
2 open.
3.
Okay,
Yes.
3 open. So I need to close this and we are good. Do you get that now?
Yes.
So there are times, this is a very popular, when you're debugging, you see that, or you see that every time, right? You're going to see that a lot. So you just need to hover on it and check the error and know how to fix that, right?
Yes.
Great. So let me restart this now to see, let me put a breakpoint here for our get all users. All these things, it comes with practice. So it's not one day you would really grasp it. It comes with practice. Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay. Deligwe, you joined with 2 device.
Maybe it is network.
Okay. So I want to get all the users. I want to get all the users. So I come here and all right. So I'll clone this, and this is what I have. All the users from the DB. The first user, the second user, the
So I
third
can't see
user.
anything. No.
Oh, sorry. Oh, and I've just shared my entire screen. Can you see this now?
Not yet.
So I
Yes.
executed it. I did this. I ran the command. This is it now. This is it. This is the API, the endpoint for get all users, right?
Yes.
Good. So I did that and it came here. It hit this breakpoint and I had to go. This is actually going into the database to get all the data from the DB, right?
Yes.
Great. And we ended up with this, the information, all the data from the DB, which is what we have here. It's very straightforward. Hmm?
Yes.
Which is what we have here. Is it confusing?
No.
Are you sure? Talk your mind though.
No, I have understood this one now. Response body. It's before that I did not understand how these things works, but I'm getting
Okay.
it gradually. Small, small.
Okay. All right.
So another
Great.
question. This one, this okay. Is it the same thing with
Yes.
this body response?
The 200.
Yes, this place I'm saying 200. No,
Every
after. No, the that
okay.
one,
Okay,
200.
no, this
Okay.
one is just description. This is just description, describing what this is. This is the main response. This is just to help the front end understand what this means, what is expected
Okay.
in
What about
the.
the shade, the schemas?
That one is another. This schema is just containing all your enums that you have created, all the enums, the models, and all, just your enums and your models. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we create the endpoint for project, you'll be seeing the project schemas here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. But we all understand this now, right? The create and the get, because you are also going
Yes.
to do same for project and to do tax. Yeah. Hmm?
Okay, sir.
Great. So that is that. Now the next one is what? I hope we are not tired though.
Also, Renata, there's something that you said before. How can users use different email?
That's this a to do. Yes. You need to prevent that from happening, because if you check the DB now, let's go to the DB now. We're having this user at example.com. We're having another user as user at example.com, which shouldn't be so. That's because
Yes.
we have not protected our DB. We have not added a check to make sure that the email that is coming into your database doesn't exist in the database.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. Next one is, if I ask now, what's the difference between um, get all and get by ID? What's the difference between them?
Get all is getting the whole users,
Hmm?
or yes, get all is getting the whole users at once, like the list of users.
Mm,
Why get by ID is getting a user by like a one user by ID.
exactly. Yeah. So assuming
Oh,
this is a database and I want to get information of, maybe assuming this person, right?
yes.
I want to get information from using that. I want to get information of that person. All I just need to do as passing my parameter is I'm interested in just the ID. That's just it. Once I know the ID of that ID would grant me access to all the information about that user, right?
Yes. So there's
Great.
another question, like this ID now, how were
Mm.
you able to make it to be generating a random number like 1001, 1002,
No,
and
this
10?
one, the reason for this is this one you see here, it was just testing. I gave it one, right? Normally, usually, right? Your
Yes.
database, it starts from one. It starts from one, two, three, or maybe 1,002. Is the database wants to start from 2,000. It goes with you. It doesn't concern you with the ID the database chooses, right? But
Okay,
just know
chooses
that,
whatever it wants.
yeah, and the database is
Okay.
consistent. If it starts with 5,000, the next one that will be added will be 5,001. You will not be saying 5,010 for the next user. It's going to be it's going to be incrementing.
Because my own is not even generating like this, even like it's not readable. Like is this long ID that
There's a difference between int. Yeah, in what we are doing in this project, we are using integer
int.
for our ID.
Okay,
So the one you
okay.
are talking about is grid, GUID, that has
Yes, yes,
over
yes, yes, yes. So
16, 18, 21 characters. So there's a reason for using GUID and there's a reason for using
int.
integer, which I have
Okay.
not stated out. So reason for using that is imagine an application like Facebook application that is used by billions of users, right?
Yes.
If you use integer for to capture the different users, you would end up using up all your integer values, right?
Yes.
But Git is more optimized, like it can carry billions of users. Yeah, it can carry billions of users, billion numbers of users. But for int, you can end up, for if you use int now, int has maximum value of is it 32,000, I think 32. If you use int, you can just check that out when I
32
talked
to
about
64.
32, 64, like the maximum value and the minimum value. So
Yes.
imagine using ints to manage users in your application and you exceeded that 32,000. Your database is going to crash now because the int has used up all the maximum numbers now, right?
Yes.
Great. So that's why it's always advisable to use Git for an application that will scale, or it's going to accommodate millions, billions of users. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So let's do the get by ID. Let's do the get by ID now. Okay. So this is the get by ID. I'll
So I
just
will not finish that one now. I thought you wanted to work on the other one.
which one?
The getting user by different, the method of one using a particular email.
Getting user by
There is let them be use different email to it's collecting only one user email for all the users.
I don't understand. I want to get user by ID.
Okay.
Is that what are you saying?
Okay, you know that you said there is a problem that we are the
This
user,
one
all the
now,
user, yes, yes.
you need to prevent duplicate emails. I left
Yeah.
that out as your task to go and do. It's
Oh,
very simple. It is very, very simple. Yes, it's very straightforward. Hmm?
okay.
Yeah, but we'll do that in our next class. I just want you guys to go and try it out. It's another way of learning. I don't need to do everything in class. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So for the fetch by ID or get by ID, we still make use of the get. Okay?
Yes.
So HTTP HTTP get. So HTTP get, and I need to provide the route. So I need to provide the route. Now this is me making use of this another endpoint here. I'll just leave that as that first. Let me don't go faster than my shadow. All right, public async tags, then action results, then get user by ID, then passing what I need is the ID this time around. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So first of all, if I go ahead to first of all, I need to check if this ID exists, right?
Yes.
Check if the user ID exists in the DB. That's what I want to do. So first I would I'm going to await context dot users dot find async. And what am I finding? It's taking ID. It's taking, first of all, it's taking the params object, and it's also taking the key values, which in this case, it's more like the ID that it will be taking, right? So await dot context dot user dot find async. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But then now, this find async is returning what? If you check now, it is not void. For something to be void, it means it's not returning anything, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. What you say?
Right. For something to be void, it's not returning any value. So there's no point creating a variable that will store a void operation, right?
Yes.
Great. But if you hover on this now, you notice that this operation now, this find async is returning what? A user. It's actually
Yes.
returning a user,
Yes.
meaning I should create a variable that will hold the value of that return, the return value, right?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
get?
Yes.
Yeah. So I create a variable, call it user equal, which is going to hold that that return value. Now, another use case of using var is if I'm not sure of the return type, right? If I'm not
Yes.
sure of the return type, it's always good to use var. Var would dynamically get the return type dynamically.
Yes.
We use var when I'm not sure of the return type of this operation. Okay. Another
Yes.
use case is if the return type or data type is very large, I could just use var to represent that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Great. So var user equal to this. Now the user has gotten the information for that ID. It either gets it or it doesn't get the information. So for it not to get the information, it means it is null, right?
Yes.
Great. So after doing this, first of all, we need to check
If
if the user is what? Null.
no,
What does it mean? It means not found,
not
right?
found. Yes.
All right.
Mm.
Not found, right?
Yes, sir.
But what if there is an information, then let it return the user,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Great. Give me like 1 minute. Let me answer this call. I'm coming.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me now? Hello? Can I be heard now?
Yes.
All right, great. So if you check this now, we are seeing an error saying cannot implicitly convert type user to action result. Like cannot convert type user to action result means we have just action result. So this action result should also return user. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Great. So I just come here and put my user and it solves that error. Okay, syntax error. I need to add this here and we are good. So let's test it out first. Let's test it out. Let us test it out.
So I will put breakpoints.
Yeah, I put breakpoints so that
Okay.
creating APIs isn't that hard. It's not hard. Just practice. It's not hard at all. All right. So we have this. We have this, we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this HTTP get. We are having this. Okay, we are seeing response status fail to load API. So why? Let's try it again. It's telling us fail to load APIs. That is because of one thing, which would spot that out now. It's telling us this is another common error with C too. So who can tell me why? This is it. We are still having the same error, which is this. It's just straightforward anyways. Deligwe, do you know? Deligwe? All right.
Yeah, sorry.
So
Sorry. What did you say? I was
you should say you did this class. Don't
yeah,
worry.
but I've been understanding so far, sure.
You did confusing.
No, like I've been understanding so far.
Okay, oh, I know. Okay. So we are having an error. We are having this error. This is a common error we see, Sha. Fail to load API definition. That's because we have two double HTTP gets. So it's confused on which to use. That's why.
Okay.
So what we do is, since this is getting by ID, we need to differentiate that from the one that is having only get, that represents gets all, right? So we just do that using this. So by doing this now, it's saying the route would be, let me run this route so that you see the difference. All right, so this is the difference between the two. This is the normal route. For posts, we have API slash user. For get, API slash user, but it's with a get method, right? Now, this get method, the difference is we have API slash user slash the ID, which is what we have here.
Okay, sir.
That is different now. That is differentiating this from this. The reason why we're having that error was because it was having the same route and the same method. So C# is going to flag
Was
that.
this actually the same method? Because in this the one that is fetching all, we have get all users, but this one
Same
we have
HTTP, no, it's same H, not method, same HTTP method, not the
Okay.
method name. It's the same
Okay.
HTTP, right?
Yes.
Great, not the method name, sorry. So we needed to differentiate that, and that's why we created an extra route of params, which is what we see here. Now let's do this. Let me get all the users first. Okay, let me remove this breakpoint so that, okay. So we have all these users here. So assuming I'm looking for, I want to get a user by ID. I want to get a user. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, can you see this now?
Yes.
Can you see this now?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to get a user by ID 500. And 500 is not here. I've already gotten all the users. But in all these users, there's no 500. Let's just test that out and see if what we wrote is what we are going to get. So first of all, this is the ID coming from the front end, 500, right?
Are you the one that included the 500?
This is it here now. See it here. See it here. This is me passing in 500.
Okay.
I'm looking for this user with ID 500.
500. Okay.
Yeah. So it comes here. It checks, first of all, it checks the user. It goes to the database to check if this ID 500 exists in the database, right? So
Yes.
it goes ahead and checks, and we have user null. So for user to be null, it means this ID doesn't exist in the database. And
Yes.
because it doesn't, it's going to return not found, which is 404, not found, right?
Yes, sir.
But what if we return a user that exists, which is 1, right? We have ID 1 now, so we are sure
Yes.
this exists. So we return 1 and execute. So we come here, we check, and we check this now. You see now there's an information. This
Yes.
is the information about, like I told you, that once we have that ID will give us access to all the information about that user. So this
Yes.
user is not null. And because the user is not null, this will not execute. It will come here and print the information for that user. And this is what we get. Do we get that now?
Yes.
Very straightforward, right?
Yes.
Great. So tomorrow, we are going to do for what is left, update and delete. But if you can try that out, that will be fine. You can try that out, that will be fine. Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. So I'm going to push this now. I think we are done with this. I would push this. Worked on the create get by ID and get all for users. So I just push this now. We are good. So all you just need to do is open your Visual Studio, pull, git pull, or you come here, stay on your master branch. You come here and git pull first, then you switch to your new branch to create a new branch where you want to work on this new feature. Maybe prevent duplicate email. You want to work on that, and yeah. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any question?
So my question is that so in every this thing that we want to work on, we must create a branch for it.
It is not a must, but it is important. Yeah. It's not as if you don't create a branch. It's going to work fine, but standard practice. If you are working in a team, right? If you are working in a team,
Yes.
you have to create a branch for whatever you want to do. But if you are working solo, you are working alone, and it's your choice. Yeah. It's just to help you track your changes and track different versions.
Okay, sir.
Mm.
But
But we are good now,
that's
right?
what time.
10 p.m. tomorrow, we'll meet. Mm.
All right, sir. Thank you.
All right, now. Deligwe, we are good now.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
All right, now. All right. Take care. So see you guys tomorrow. Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
All right, sir. Bye.
Yeah. Mm.